Totally Nonsense on Nonsense News Nation. Totally.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids and cadets, to another riveting edition of Totally Nonsense on Nonsense News Nation. I'm your host, very sick boy, Brandon Scott Ellis. Here my name is Shmuel Melech.
That must have hurt to do.
Oh my god, you have no idea. I sound like SpongeBob with the suds. Remember that episode? So yeah, it's not COVID, guys. I mean, I got tested today. So I guess we don't know, but with COVID, it's usually a fever, body aches, the slight case of death. I don't have any of that. I just feel like SpongeBob with the suds. I was supposed to be working today. I had this cold for a few days, and it just was really bad this morning, so I called out. But apparently the rules are, which is just policy, that you need to test negative for the coronavirus to go back to work.
But I am your co-host / boy, Scott Honigman, and I'm happy to be back. We're both happy to be back. Brandon is so happy to do this that he doesn't even care that he's sick. He's going to hit the record button.
Exactly.
And still do this with us. So you might have to put a large plexiglass shield in front of your mic so I don't get sick, Brandon.
You're not even in the same area of the island, Scott, but I'll try my best because I'm just that careful.
We're not only 6 feet apart, we're about 60 miles apart.
That's how serious we took this quarantine. But it should take like a few days for me to find out that I can get back to my job of feeding goats and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Let's get a hashtag going. Hashtag save Brandon Ellis or pray for Brandon Ellis.
Pray for Brandon like you prayed for Trump. You remember he miraculously got better? Do the same for me.
Exactly. All you have to do is pray, and it'll go away.
That's what happens in life. You just clap your hands together and hold them and say, God, I love you. Do you love me? And go through your day. If you do that, it's going to help me out. So please do that. Thank you.
Speaking of our love for God, I know that God loves us because he blessed me with this story that I'm about to share.
Oh, God.
So, if you don't mind, Brandon, I'm gonna segue here into first out of two stories, and I don't know which one is better. I know God graced me with both of them. I found this story. It's on CBSNews.com, and it circles around this 5-year-old boy. The name of this 5-year-old boy is unknown. They chose to omit his name. He's from
Pokemon,
Oregon.
Unknown?
He's an unknown. So he could take like 10 or 20 different forms.
His one move is Ancient Power. And it does nothing.
Even this 5-year-old boy is probably stronger than an unknown. Let me get into the meat and potatoes of this. So, of course, obviously we know about the horrible wildfires that have been happening in California, Oregon, all across the West Coast.
It's definitely lit.
It's definitely not so lit for the people who live there.
Well, I meant it more literally, Scott.
Sure you did.
It's like Hanukkah every day. It's like Hanukkah and Christmas combined.
8 crazy nights, more like 80 crazy nights.
You mix the candles with the trees and they go on fire. It's like a half Jewish, half Christian house coming together and trying to pull off a holiday, but failing.
We're getting a little off track here, as me and Brandon often do, because we just love bickering so much and bantering about random stuff. This 5-year-old boy and his grandmother, who were really wanted to do something nice for the local firemen in their town. Coincidentally, around the same time, their local fire department was having a donation drive, so you could donate different things. You could donate different things to the donation drive, and whatever you donated would help out the crew in some way. I don't know, donating water, donating food. I'm not sure what exactly would help firefighters, but I guess anything would, realistically. What did they do? This boy and this grandma, they went to their local either Walmart or Target to look for something to buy. As they were looking for something to buy, they were going through the toy aisle, and this little boy stumbled across a gigantic baby Yoda. A baby Yoda like plushie or something along those lines. After the boy told his grandmother he wanted to buy it, she purchased it, and they donated it to the donation drive.
Oh, that's sick. He just wanted a baby Yoda. They donated it soon after.
That's not where the story ends. They thought that was going to be the end of it, but they got a call back a few days later saying that the Baby Yoda was like a smash hit within the fireman community. Like these firefighters apparently were taking Baby Yoda out with them, like on patrol. They were taking Baby Yoda with them.
It's literally like the Mandalorian. Taking them on their many adventures.
Exactly. Every time they went to go put out fires, they take Baby Yoda. There's actually a screenshot they took. They're like in the forest here with there's a bunch of...
They're on Endor.
Here, I'm going to send you this picture, Brandon, of firefighters with Baby Yoda. They're like in the middle of the forest next to a bunch of burnt down trees, and they just...
All right, I got the photo here. It looks like all the firefighters they're full of soot. It definitely looks serious, but they're all smiling with a big thumbs up. And the middle person's holding Baby Yoda with it looks like an American flag do-rag. Baby Yoda looks happier than they do, and they all look pretty happy to be in that fire right now.
I can't imagine how happy you'd be to be in a burnt down forest, but I guess when you have Baby Yoda, your spirits are going to be lifted.
When you were
anyway.
raised by a bounty hunter from Disney's Mandalorian, you're going to be into some pretty messed up things, Scott.
I can already hear Baby Yoda's thoughts right now. He probably just wants to get back with the boys and go on their adventures as opposed to these adventures he's having. Okay, so apparently, as I said, Baby Yoda went on a bunch of adventures with these firefighters. There was one time, according to the supervisor of the Oregon Department of Forestry, where they took Baby Yoda on a helicopter ride above the tree line, and so that was nice.
Flying on a helicopter.
Yeah, over like a bunch of trees.
I think they think he's real. Look, Baby Yoda, it's beautiful from up here. You see the fire?
Apparently, also
pretty fire that is. Pretty fire that is.
I'll add in one last thing here. Apparently, word about Baby Yoda traveling with the Oregon local fire department the word has spread all the way to California, Washington State, and Canada. It's spread like wildfire. Crews from all of these states and Canada have been asking the fire department if they can bring Baby Yoda along with them for the ride.
It's a beautiful story, and we like Baby Yoda so much. You know, we also like, Scott.
Your next story?
But we also like giving me time to snivel because I'm sick. Is it ready? 3, 2, 1.
I guess you'll cut that out.
I don't know if I will, because it felt so good. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. ASMR at Nonsense News Nation. So, I like Baby Yoda, but I want some real creatures that look alien-like. How I get my fix from that is dinosaurs. They're kind of alien-like. You don't see them every day, unless you count birds, where you do see them every day.
Or if you're working at where you work.
Right. So this next story involves Tyrannosaurus Rex, a T-Rex, a skeleton of one, getting sold at an insanely high price. And I saw the headline, and it just brought me home, Scott, because if you don't remember, I bought a dinosaur egg at my job. So I'll tell this story for anyone who didn't listen before. I work at like a nature preserve, and there's like a dinosaur exhibit and everything. Every day I'm at the gift shop section. Coated in glass is real hadrosaur eggs. Hadrosaur is a type of dinosaur. They're kind of duck-billed, bipedal dinosaurs from China. So not only is it foreign, not only does it represent communism, but it's a dinosaur egg. And I'm not a paleontologist, but I've just been eyeing those things forever. And so one day I just whipped out $300 and I bought the egg and walked out with this huge rock of an egg. It was glorious. I can only imagine the feeling someone had to buy an almost full T-Rex skeleton. I mean, I think personally a hadrosaur egg is cooler than a whole T-Rex thing, just because I'm incredibly biased. But let me explain the story here. So this Tyrannosaurus Rex is about 67 million years old, and his name is Stan, like Stan Marsh, Scott. So it was sold for, guess how much? Just take a guess. How much money do you think?
The entire fossil set?
Oh, yeah, the T-Rex. It was auctioned.
$67 million, just like how old it is?
No, it's actually cheaper. Now it doesn't seem as bad now that you said that price. It was sold for $31.8 million at the 20th Century Evening Sale, which is ironic because that dinosaur did not come from the 20th century. But okay. Oh, by the way, let me preface that this is a record-breaking price for a fossil. This is the highest price someone has paid for a fossil. The original record was given to a T-Rex named Sue for $8.4 million. million to the Field Museum in Chicago in 1997, which is a lot of money, but is measly compared to the 31.8 that was sold very recently. So the bidding was expected to close to about Sue's price range, but it got very steamy because a lot of people they probably sold their private islands or something to get the prehistoric chicken, Scott. And that's what happened, and people got crazy. And one dude said, screw it, here's my family fortune. Here's all the money that will keep my legacy alive. I was gonna use this money to cure COVID, but here, I'm gonna get this dinosaur skeleton, because why not? As much as I'd like to judge Scott, I bought a dinosaur egg for $300, so I'd be the biggest hypocrite to judge. I can only salute in absolute pride for this tremendous buy. The buyer even said that this was a once-in-a-generation chance, and he took that chance. Stan was found in 1987 by a paleontologist. Can you guess his name, Scott?
No.
His name was Stan.
Okay.
Stan was so vain, he named the dinosaur Stan. It's like if I named my hadrosaur egg Brandon, which I would never do. His name is Hattie, and I love him. I'm not that vain, guys. Originally, Stan resided at the Black Hills Institute of Geological Research in Hilly City, South Dakota. Hilly City, it sounds like a Sonic level. So Stan is actually one of the most complete dino fossils, measuring at 40 feet in length and 13 feet tall, and contains about 70% of its original body. That's about 188 bones. So the dinosaur most likely died at around age 20, so wasn't even able to drink. What a life, I know. And he had a puncture wound on its head, so a dinosaur probably attacked it. I don't know what's gonna attack a T-Rex besides an angrier T-Rex. Maybe Sue attacked Stan. I don't know. So that's the story about T-Rexes and money and my hadrosaur. See how everything came together, Scott?
You really circled back. You really know how to tell a good story.
I do, but it just doesn't help that I'm just so gosh darn sick today, you know?
Something you can do about that.
I can try about it.
We appreciate your dedication to the craft.
Sure, Scott. And speaking of my dedication, I heard a little rumor around the block that you have some dedication. So with that dedication, can you tell us your next story that is, rumor has it, a doozy?
Brandon, I'm just going to read you the headline of this story, and I'll give you about 30 seconds to gain your composure.
Okay, let's go for it. I'm ready.
I'm not. Okay, the headline is, "The cannabis industry is attracting Jews back to Germany."
Well, Scott, it's been nice talking to you, but you heard my Hebrew name at the beginning. You know I'm Jewish. I gotta go to my homeland. I'm actually part German, so it's kind of fitting. And there's promise of cannabis. Do tell, Scott.
I'm like at least a quarter German. My last name is German, so maybe I should go back to Germany with you. An increasing number of German Jews are utilizing their restored citizenship to return to their ancestral homeland and work in the German cannabis industry. Here's the thing. Shortly after World War II, Israel was founded, of course. I think it was, like 1948? Something like that.
Probably close to then, yeah.
Shortly after Israel was founded, they started studying marijuana extensively, and over the decades they soon became one of the biggest medically marijuana commercialized countries. And along with Israel, Germany was also becoming a really cannabis safe and friendly country. In 1949, we'll go back a little bit, Germany passed a law called the Basic Law. This law restores German citizenship to any Jewish person or any person who fled Germany as a result of the Holocaust and World War II. So with that being said, now that Germany has overtaken, as of recently, Germany has overtaken Israel as the leading cannabis country in the world, many Jewish people who have ancestors that were in the Holocaust are now immigrating to Germany and getting essentially free citizenship, immediate citizenship, and then working in their cannabis industry.
Scott, that doesn't make sense. You're telling me these Jewish people that fled from Germany to Israel after the atrocities they faced and celebrated their Jewish heritage and faith are leaving their homeland for some weed.
For some good old integrity, that's right. Where's their integrity? They're leaving their home country for weed? That doesn't sound like they have their integrity.
It's one heck of a drug, Scott. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm still reading into this, trying to make sense of all this myself. According to this, medical marijuana in Germany is covered by your health insurance plan if you're a German citizen. It's the third largest legal cannabis country in the entire world, the biggest medical marijuana market on earth. And Jews, especially from the US and Britain, like I said, are attempting to return. And I wish them the best. It's always good to make up with your enemies and smoke a bunch of weed with them in the process.
Oh, it's fantastic for sure, Scott.
If there's one thing that brings people together, it's good old-fashioned integrity. I hope you're not getting less of it since you might have COVID.
Don't scare the people, Scott. I don't have COVID. I just sound like I do. I'm fine.
You sound like the president. I'm fine. I'm fine. It spends
fine.
3 days in the hospital.
It's okay. It's the coronavirus is nothing.
You sound like Peter Dinklage, not the president.
It's okay. Sansa, it's okay. You're my wife.
Sensei.
Okay, never mind. Let me just snivel and get to my last story, okay? You ready? Count me down, Scott.
3, 2, 1, inhale. Ew! You're
Boogers.
so gross!
I know, I feel that. I feel gross.
Nasty.
You know what isn't gross? Onions. In fact, Scott, I'd go so far to say that they have quite a bit of sex appeal.
What?
Well, you may not think that, but Facebook does. Here's the story. Facebook removed an ad for some onions because they were deemed to be too sexual for the public eye.
Did they give the onion a bikini and like a bottom? Put it in
Let me
leggings?
explain to you. The ad shows an image of onions in a basket from the Gaze Seed Company.
Gay seed?
Gaze.
Oh.
G-A-Z-E, like you're gazing at something, not G-A-Y-S.
Gay. Okay.
This wasn't a Pride Month thing. I mean, if it was for Pride Month, maybe it would be more sexy. But it's literally just a basket full of onions. That's it, Scott. That was legit it. They're not wearing anything. They don't have makeup on. They're onions in a basket. They're just onions.
There's nothing sexy about them.
There's layers, but you have to peel them. That actually is kind of sexy to think about. Never mind. Anywho, according to Facebook, these onions were positioned in a sexually suggestive manner.
What does that mean?
I mean, was it like a sex position? I don't know. So Facebook has since admitted that the problem arose from an errant algorithm. So it was like an algorithm problem. One of the people in the company thought like maybe it looked like boobs or something. I don't know. I wouldn't know, Scott. I'm not sexually attracted to
Anything.
To anything? I'm not asexual, Scott.
I know.
I get sexual from time to time, maybe with pomegranates, but never, ever with an onion. I have no idea what Facebook was thinking. So in good fun, the company posted a mock-up of what the algorithm most likely detected on their Facebook page. So they probably made onions sexy for their Facebook or something. So it's kind of cute. Well, instead of cute, I'd say sexy.
Can you send me this picture so I can...
I actually don't have the pictures.
Were these onions beige-ish, like orange beige? You don't have the picture?
I think so. I think they are. I'll check it right now.
These can be easily mistaken for breasts. So I kind of understand where the algorithm was coming from.
There's no excusing it. It's onions. It's an onion just in a basket. There's nothing. Do not defend Mark Zuckerberg. He's a lizard and he's only attracted to lizards. So when he sees something that's sexual in some way, or what he deems sexual because he's a lizard and he genuinely doesn't understand, he's going to freak out. But it's an onion, Mark, Mr. Zuckerberg. Don't be a Zuckerberg. Let people enjoy their onions. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. End of story.
That's all that needs to be said.
That's all that needs to be said, Scott. That's all she wrote. So what did we learn from this podcast today? We learned that dinosaur bones are a lot of money. We realized that Baby Yoda could be real if you just go to the store and pay for him. And also firefighters really love him for some reason. We also learned that onions are sexual. Oh, and lastly, if you're Jewish, you may want to think twice about Israel and just go to Germany because they got weed. That's a good takeaway, right?
We're the best educators on this platform. We're better than Crash Course. What I'm trying to say is, forget about Crash Course. Forget about anything else.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast. I sure did not. I'm sick as heck. If you want to hear more from us, where I'm not sick, and I sure hope you do. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and YouTube. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and a Twitter. We post some stuff every now and then. We have a website, nonsensenewsnation.com. And if you want to contact us personally and give me a cure for whatever disease I have right now, because I really need it, just do you hear me? You can contact us at nonsensnewsradio@gmail.com. That is nonsensnewsradio@gmail.com. Once again, I've been Brandon Ellis.
I've been Scott Brandon and Scott Honigman, not sick, man.
And this was Totally Nonsense on Nonsense News Nation. We'll see you next time. Peace, love, and no to the corona.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye.